Hello everyone, welcome to CNA, the daily newspaper analysis. Today we are back with the following list of topics to discuss. So let's start. The first topic says about the lack of protection officers for domestic violence cases. So Supreme Court recently has intrigued by the lack of protection officers for domestic violence cases, okay, which was recently discussed in a Hindu paper. Okay, so what has been observed over here is that we could see that the Supreme Court has sought more information about Mission Shakti because it is concerned about a persistent lack of protection officers to handle domestic violence cases. Why? Recently it has been recognized about that 4.4 lakh cases of domestic violence are pending in around 801 districts, whereas a protection officer in each of the districts would be saddled with over 500 cases. So therefore the appointment of protection officers, ideally women, is mandated under section 8 of the Protection of Women for Domestic Violence Act of 2005. And these officers have a pivotal role in helping victims filing complaints, giving information to the police, provide immediate protection, and also some of the supports. So therefore, today, Mission Shakti provides a one-stop center in most of the districts to receive domestic violence victims, but it is unclear how many of this employ protection officers. So hence the Supreme Court today has asked the government about whether Mission Shakti will serve as the umbrella scheme for implementing the Domestic Violence Act. It is concerned about a persistent lack of protection officers to handle domestic violence cases. So therefore, this particular Mission Shakti was in news, and therefore you should know about what this Mission Shakti is, which deals with some of the crime that is done against women in respective to domestic scenario. Okay, चलो next पे आते हैं. E-Sanjeevani. So what is this E-Sanjeevani? So see, this E-Sanjeevani is the first ever OPD, that is the outpatient consultation service offered by the government of India to citizens. So according to the government, this is the first time the government of the country is offering a service of its kind to its citizens. So this scheme started in November 2019 and it is run by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Also called the National Teleconsultation Service, it aims to provide healthcare services to patients in their respective homes. So it also includes a structured and safe teleconsultations between a doctor and a patient through online mode, that is E-Sanjeevani OPD. So this portal and system has been developed by the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, which is known as CDAC. And where it is in Mohali, Punjab. So the panel of doctors on the service is drawn by the state governments. A few states like Jharkhand, Kerala, Punjab, and Tamil Nadu have started offering specialized doctor consultations, specialist also. So this service is also available on mobile application too, where any person could directly come under the respective scenario to get them treated. So therefore, this E-Sanjeevani is a doctor-to-doctor telemedicine system that been deployed nationally by this respective Ministry of Health and Family Welfare under the Ayushman Bharat scheme. Okay. So therefore, it extends the reach of even specialized healthcare services and also tackles various issues between uneven distribution of healthcare personnel and also bridging the divide that exists between urban poor, rich and poor. Okay. So all these things are basically there. So today we could see that there are various number of features, okay, supposedly with respective to the patient registration. Okay, token is generated, queue management is there, audio video consultation with the doctor is there. Okay, also service by the state doctors are also very much mandated. Okay, so therefore we have got a good number of purpose with respect to E-Sanjeevani, which recently in the 98th episode of his radio address Man Ki Baat, he described about this particular consultation, which is known as E-Sanjeevani. Okay. Next, Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array, ALMA, radio telescope. Okay, so what is this? Okay, so this is a radio telescope comprising around 66 antennas. So you can see a whole lot of antennas, 66 antennas in a setup to get software and hardware upgrades. So it will help in collecting much more data and produce sharper images than even before in some of the respective sciences journals. Okay. So the most significant modernization made to ALMA will be the replacement of its correlator, a supercomputer that combines the input from individual antennas and allows astronomers to produce highly detailed images of celestial objects. So therefore, this is a state-of-the-art radio telescope that studies celestial objects at millimeter and submillimeter wavelengths. And it is located in Atacama Desert of northern Chile. Okay, so therefore they can penetrate through dust clouds and help astronomers examine dim and distant galaxies and stars without any interference. So therefore, we can see that this is basically a fully functional one, and therefore it was in news. So you should know about what is basically this array radio telescope. Okay, chalo. India's $5 billion annual defense export target. So why this has been in news? Because recently the Ministry of Defense has decided to raise India's annual defense export target to around $5 billion, okay, by 2024 and 25. So therefore, if I have to see that Indian defense exports have increased by 334% in the last 5 years, which is been reported by the SIPRI, Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. And India is amongst the top 25 exporters, providing defense equipments to over around 75 countries. So today, India's defense export value till December 2022 has reached around rupees 6058 crore. So what are the items that India exports? So India exports big defense platforms like the LCA Tejas, advanced light helicopters, and also first patrol vehicles. It also exports missile systems like BrahMos supersonic cruise missile and also the Pinaka multi-barrel rocket launchers. Okay, so we know that we have got our major export destinations like Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles. Okay, and coming to ammunition, so we could see Myanmar has been the biggest importer of Indian arms, and 50% of the arms is directly going to Myanmar, as well as countries like Sri Lanka. So today we could see that there are various issues associated with this particular exports and imports, but the growth of the defense industry helps India not only in the strategic sphere, but economically too by reducing imports and also creating jobs. And therefore, we can say that today we are in a very good target of achieving $5 billion annually by 2024-25. Okay, chalo. Last mein aate hai. From China to India. So it's seeing about the power of narratives. Okay. So we can see that in this today's scenario, the term doctored narratives are very common, which typically refers to narratives or stories that have been intentionally altered or manipulated in some ways to mislead or deceive people, which can involve changing key details, omitting important information, and also fabricating events altogether. So these influences are exerted by powers to be through various means, be it through funding by nefarious elements, be it by planting certain theories. Okay, so ये सब होता है. So today, characterization of these narratives can be seen with respect to mass provocation, fake news, emotional appeal, conspiracy theories, political manipulations. ये सब बहुत होता है. Okay, and today we can even see there are various number of narratives against India. So we could see that misinformation surrounding the Kashmir conflict, alleged murder of democracy, okay, misinformation about Indian religions. तो ये सब narratives बनाया जाता है. तो रिसेंटली यहाँ पे क्यों न्यूज में था, जैसे चाइना ने यहाँ पे नैरेटिव्स बनाए कि हम लोग के यहाँ पे कोई मरा नहीं है, हम लोग के यहाँ पे कोविड अंडर कंट्रोल है, तो ये सब एक फेक नैरेटिव्स है. तो इसको एक कंट्रोल नैरेटिव्स के तहत देखा गया है. Okay, so therefore today we could see that such number of emerging threat of these narratives is the growing concern for every country today, because every number of leaders wants their image to be very much clear, and this can directly hamper every economy in this current scenario. And therefore, it has been talked about that how the media coverage during COVID-19 reveals the power of controlling narratives in each and every part of the respective world. Okay, so it was all about with the respective editorial. So we have these 500 MCQs. Please do attend these MCQs and do join our WhatsApp and Telegram channel for further updates. That's all for today. Thank you and Jai Hind.